Thank you for joining us, and we are live on the red carpet, and with me is Dr. Alice Pien and also her husband, Dr. Asher Milgrom, and they are the co-founders of AMA Skincare. Now they have people from all over the world that fly in just to see them so that they can have beautiful looking skin. I mean, they are great representatives of beautiful skin. Thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
So let me ask both of you, what is special about your practice?
Well, the reason why people fly in from all over the world is because we're the only people who do what we do. I mean, lasers, for instance, are everywhere, but our protocols that are what we call multiple modality protocols, meaning we use a tremendous array of lasers, 28 different lasers, and acupuncture, and naturopathy, and homeopathy, and ozone therapy, and IV therapy, and hyperbaric oxygen therapy, many, many therapies to engage the patient's physiology from the inside out. I mean, if you think back, all of you out there, if you think back to when you were 25 years old and your skin was perfect, it was healthy and strong and robust on the inside and just gorgeous on the outside. Well, all the physiological mechanisms that gave you that kind of skin when you were 25 years old, they're still in your skin today, even if you're 70. And we have found a way to engage those physiological mechanisms and turn them back on. So your skin rebuilds or rebirths itself from the inside out, giving you healthy, strong skin on the inside and gorgeous skin on the outside. And that's pretty unique, and that's why people fly in for our procedures.
So I'm curious, depending on the procedure, if somebody comes to you, does it depend on their skin types and what's the best procedure, or is there a procedure that everybody should kind of start with?
Good question. Skin is an organ, and as all the organs in our body, the physiological condition of that organ is really unique to each individual person. So the first foundation of our practice is an abiding respect for the mystery and the science of understanding your physiology, which means we have to assess the physiology and really understand what has been going on in your skin, what's currently in your skin, and what we can do to help the physiology get back on track again. So every protocol is customized for every single person. If you come in with a lot of acne, that's one thing. If you come in with 20-year-old acne scars, that's another thing. If you come in with a melasma or sunspots or age spots or broken capillaries or rosacea or all the things that people suffer from, all those things have a customizable approach to them. Now, the issue of collagen, however, is the same pretty much for everyone, because by the time we're 40 years old, we pretty much stop making collagen. And to engage the collagen physiology, to get all that machinery going again, that's something everyone should do, so you can keep a nice 35-year-old face until you're 85 years old.
And the goal is to be able to maintain your collagen, doesn't matter how old you are. So I started my treatment when I was 38. So I just turned 51, and I know that my skin is it's as young as when I was 38.
And I am pushing 60. And in fact, I had all sorts of pock marks on this side of my face. And you would never know it now, because the skin has rebuilt itself internally. So this is beauty from the inside out. Beauty based on health and strong physiology. It's not a facade, it's not fake, it's real.
I just had a procedure done 3-4 days ago. And normally it'll be peeling by today, but I had some makeup on. I didn't want to come today because I would have looked awful, but you can see that after the treatment, 3-4 days later, you're pretty presentable still, even with the intensive treatment that we give.
Well, you look fantastic. So I think the question that probably everybody who's thinking about procedures, is it painful? Be honest.
Well, you're numbed up. The first thing that happens when you come into the clinic is we apply all sorts of topical anesthetics to your face, multiple layers of it. So after an hour passes, and most of our patients will relax in a massage chair while they're marinating, right? Marinating with the topical. And by that time, they're really numb. And so the procedure, they feel it, but it's not painful. In fact, over the last 15 years, we've done over 65,000 procedures. And I think in 65,000, we've only had 3 people that really couldn't tolerate it. And by the way, for those who want more painkillers, You know, they can. There's obviously some medications you can take, and we can even do, you know, blocks, neurological blocks with injections. So you can be totally pain-free. And for those who are really, really concerned about it, we have an anesthesiologist we work with, and he'll put you under twilight. You wake up, and it's all done.
So what about the recovery time? And I know it's probably different with most people. What is, you know, after a normal procedure, how long does it take for someone to get back? And like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you actually had a procedure a few days ago. You look great.
Right.
So right after the procedure, you will be red and feeling sunburn for about a day. After that day, you're basically back to normal skin tone, but you'll feel tight and dry. So normally we give our patients moisturizer to take home with to use, and they'll use that for the next 4 to 5 days. And by the 4th, 5th day, they'll have fine little dandruffy kind of flaking, peeling off the skin, and boom, your skin is just glowing, healthy, new.
As I mentioned earlier, the idea of a multiple modality procedure where we're using many different technologies, many different inputs, many different techniques to engage the physiology of the skin really determines also the kind of downtime you might have. So the best analogy I can think of is physiology is like a symphonic orchestra. There are many different sections, right? If you sit in front of an orchestra, there's 110 pieces out there. You have the violin section and the cello section and the timpani and the brass and the woodwinds, and it's all there. They're all playing different music, right? So if you gave the music, sheet music of the violins to the cellos, it wouldn't sound good. Right? So everything, every element of your physiology, every different component of your skin, right, requires a different input. And when you give them the right input, you really do get a symphonic sound of the entire orchestra playing, all of physiology really cooking again. And that usually requires a series of treatments, which means that we can modulate the procedures to match the kind of downtime you can tolerate. All right, so it was a long way to get to that point. We have many celebrities that are on camera, okay, and sometimes, you know, they say, you know what, I can't afford any downtime right now, so the modalities that engage that part of the physiology, that part of the skin that would make them look unpresentable, we'll do that later. And we'll work deeper down where we can get things down that don't interfere with their schedules. So there's a great deal of customization we can do, all right? And of course, depending on also the pathologies that someone may have. If they have a lot of scarring or other things, then they may have a little bit more downtime on that. But generally speaking, in a week, you're done. You're back to normal.
So doctors, is it really true that we can age gracefully?
Well, here's my opinion about that, and it's a great question. I think that when people talk about aging gracefully, that's their way of retreat. That's their way of giving up and saying, okay, it's inevitable, I'm going to look old and wrinkled and baggy and saggy, and I just have to do it gracefully. Here's the point, you don't have to. All right, the best example I can give is Jack LaLanne, right?
Yeah.
The guy never gave up and stayed in shape till the end, until he was 90-something years old. He was still swimming the channel. Why? Because he kept his physiology intact and working. If you keep the physiology of the skin intact and working, you can maintain, literally, a 35, 40-year-old, beautiful skin, healthy, lifted, toned, firm, sexy, you know, gorgeous, radiant, until you're 80 years old.
Like your wife.
Until you're 80 years old. There's no reason why you have to succumb. All right, so we have a method, and it works.
All right, so if people want to get more information, where do they go?
Best place is the website, amaskincare.com.
So just a final note here. They're also a husband and wife team, and I always joke, but which is the truth, that my husband gets to tell me what to do almost every day of my life. So you're saying that...
Well, we actually have a division of labor here. I stay on the research and the science and development side, developing the protocols, and Alice, with her magical healing powers, and she does have tremendous healing energy, she handles the patient care and the hands-on, and what can I say? She is the most experienced laser surgeon in the country. And our protocols engage your whole physiology. someone asked me that earlier, so why not, plastic surgery? And in truth is, there are times when plastic surgery is necessary, but you still need the skin to be healthy, which plastic surgeons don't deal with at all, the physiology of skin. But when a surgeon cuts on you, he's leaving his signature or her signature on your skin. We don't want to do that. Your physiology is God's signature. You don't need our signature. We want to work through the physiology. So when it comes to our relationship as a married partners, there is another entity involved in our practice. Okay, not just the patient and the patient's physiology, but our respect for the magic and the miracle and the mystery of physiology, and we always defer to that.
Okay, that was really nice in what you said, but off camera he said your husband gets to tell you what to do. She gets to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put it out.
She's in charge of the patient care. So we discuss the protocols, but ultimately she's in charge.
She's the boss. All right, well, thank you so much for being here. Continued success, and I'm definitely, come on. I love that. I want that. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure.